This is my last video in the series on things I like to see on the other side once we get there. And my travel area is Asher, so we're around Beirut, going back to the Bekaa Valley. One of the sad things in that area is garbage is everywhere. It smells. It permeates. I know people who have been to Beirut who said, don't go there because the smell will just knock you over from the garbage everywhere. So when we go back there, one of the ideas is to take the Souk power plant, which is just above Beirut, and to put an incinerator there and to burn out all that garbage. And even to pull the garbage that's from the landfill now, because they've done it poorly, pull that all out, burn it. It's not about getting extra energy. I don't care if it costs energy to do it. It's to clean up the land and to get rid of things. The other thing is we know that we will be burning the weapons for fuel for the first 7 years. So on the other side, we should have a place where they, kind of how a coal power plant works, where they toss in coal from the top, and as it comes down, it catches on fire in the air. And so it heats up the air, and that starts the boiler process. And again, we should be doing that with ground up metal from their weapons. And ground up metal is flammable. Watch any Mythbusters episode on thermite. And thermite is nothing more than iron and aluminum powder, and it burns like crazy. And so high energy. So these are things that we should be doing, just changing that power plant over to allow it to actually produce energy from the burned up weapons. Very simple thing to do. The other thing we really need to do in my area, and I don't know how much more, I doubt it's in Israel proper, but certainly in Lebanon, so for the northern tribes, they never were really caring that much about septic. And a lot of the hotels around Beirut actually dump their septic right into the Mediterranean. We don't want to have that in any stretch of the imagination. So let's, one of the things to do there is to actually put in some septic. So we're not putting garbage into the water. And so we can actually go swimming in the water without having feces bounce off of us. And I know that sounds gross, but that is actually what happens currently in Beirut. And so to those people who want to say, wow, I like to have Beirut, and I'm one of those, because obviously that's why I look to see if I can fix it up. But again, it's done by lot, so who knows? But whoever does get that area, those people need to really concentrate on that septic, as well as the garbage, to get rid of it, get rid of the septic going into the water, and cap off all those things. The garbage is an issue throughout all of Lebanon, so it's not just Asher, it's also Dan, it is Naphtali, and it is definitely Manasseh. Manasseh may be worse than Beirut with the amount of garbage on the ocean. This all needs to be cleaned up. We'll burn it out. We'll get rid of all of it. We can put it down into small ash, and we can use that ash in other locations, and it's fine. But and of course, obviously it would have some toxic metals and everything. I'm not trying to say it like that. But we can deal with it in a way and use it in a way where it's productive for us and it's not just garbage that is producing methane and the smell and all these other problems, so we can clean up our own area. And can you imagine if the Messiah travels through the tribal lands? Do you want him coming to Beirut or Sidon or Tyre and having all that garbage everywhere? No, you do not. Do you want feces in the water? No, you do not. So let's clean it up in the event he ever were to come through the land, because let's be honest, it's his land. He's leasing it to us in general terms. But it's his land. He created the earth. So it belongs to him. And that's an issue of whether it was his word that did it. He followed the Creator. The Creator is the Creator, but it is the Father. but did the Son do the Word? So again, he may have been a part of that, but again, we know that our God is the one that created the earth. It belongs to Him. So let's clean it up. And so again, that's one of the things I want to do when we get back there, is to set up things so that these items get cleaner. I'll leave it at that.